When it comes to the Second Amendment, I am not the person who's going to say that, you know what, let's just get anyone own guns. And here's the thing. I am not the person who's going to advocate for strict gun control laws because we all know they don't work. Look at California. We've had mass shootings in the past in this state, and we have the strictest gun laws in the entire country. Look at Chicago. They have strict gun laws as well, and yet for some reason, there was a mass shooting last week, and no one told us about it. Why? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. Now, the Second Amendment, personally, I think that's one that should not be touched, at least excessively. For me, and the way I see it is, if you want to own a gun, have a license to prove that you know how to handle a firearm, meaning that you know how it functions, you know how it works, right? For example, many people, in many cases, they have you obtain a driver's license to drive a car. Now, some people they don't have a license because they're either illegal citizens or because they're too, I would say, too lazy to even get one. Okay, but here's the thing. I honestly, personally, if you want to own a gun, I would feel safer if you know how to use it. Because if you don't know about trigger safety, right? If you don't know how to keep your finger off the trigger, if you don't intend to shoot the gun, or if you don't know where the safety is, right? Or you don't know how to reload the weapon, then I don't feel safe around you because I don't want you to shoot yourself. I don't want you to shoot me by accident, right? So the only thing that I would actually think that would be a good idea is just get a license to prove that you know how to handle a weapon. You know how to handle the recoil when you fire that weapon, right? You know how to use it properly, clean it, maintain it, stuff like that. And then other than that, buy all the weapons you want. Buy 50, 100, 1,000 if you want to. By all means, go on ahead and buy all the weapons you want as long as you know how to use them properly. But to some degree, I can see why some of you who are pro Second Amendment to 100%, I can understand why you guys would be very against it too. Because we all know how the left is. You give them an inch, they will take a mile. So in some degree, yeah, my idea of getting a license is more, yeah, somewhat they're saying, well, say we need a license, then we need more restrictions. So I can understand that. But I don't have a problem with people owning several guns as long as they know how to use it. Maybe, like I said, some people they can go to shooting ranges, they can learn firearm safety if they wish. Others choose not to, and then they just learn it as they go, kind of like when they drive without a license, right? But you're more likely to have an accident while driving a car if you don't know how to drive it properly. And I feel the same way about guns. But again, it's a very different thing, two different objects. So again, you can criticize me for that. Feel free to do so. But that's how I see it. However, what I do not think is taking away guns from law-abiding citizens. That's not a good thing. And here's the thing. I love the Second Amendment a lot to the sense that I actually do not like what my state has done when it comes to gun control laws. I personally want to own one for self defense, but in California, it's very hard to do so. It's very complicated. Not to mention, it's very hard to even get a gun in the first place. Just get one, by the way. But from China, apparently they believe that our right to own a gun is very problematic. So I'm gonna read a little bit from the Daily Wire. Then we read a little bit about Fox News in regards to the Texas shooting that took place a few days ago. Communist China. Private ownership of guns in the U.S. serious problem must change. Right, because look at this peaceful, loving country of China. So peaceful, so tolerant. And look at those flags of freedom and prosperity. Right. Because we all know China is not the most freedom loving country ever. Look at what's going on in Hong Kong. Anyways, let's read the first paragraph and then let's go into the article of Fox News. Communist China, which currently has millions of people locked away in concentration camps, they do, said in state-controlled media this week that the Second Amendment is a serious problem and that there needs to be change in how the American public views private ownership of guns. Right, China. Because if you want to invade us, you don't have to go through the U.S. military, or at least not just the U.S. military. You have to go through armed citizens as well. People that are willing to defend their rights from an invasive government, domestic and abroad. Here's the thing, China. I don't like the government of China. I really don't. Because they're very hypocritical. They think that, oh, well, you do know that we are a large consumer, right? We are large consumers from your products, like in movies. I don't care. My rights are my rights. You want to come and take them away, by all means, go on ahead. But you're not gonna get them easily. You're gonna have to fight to take those rights away from me. And trust me, you're gonna have a hard time. But anyways, let's go into what Fox News has to say. And before we even go into this article, I want to make this perfectly clear. In September, Joe Biden even said, right, Joe Biden criticized the governor of Texas for allowing churchgoers to carry their weapons inside the church. Now, imagine what would have happened if Joe Biden had gone his way. We would have seen a bigger tragedy. The media would have been all over this, and they would have been shouting for more gun control, even though the people who didn't have guns were law-abiding citizens. Meanwhile, the criminal was the one who was owning a gun. But here's the thing. as much as the media doesn't want to talk about this, especially the liberal media. I made a previous video in regards to talking about how the mainstream media only cares about tragedies when it fits their narrative. Fox News is part of the mainstream media, and to some degree, yeah, they're only pushing the story personally because it fits their narrative. However, I can understand why they're pushing for this, and I can agree with this. Why? Because a good guy with a gun stopped a tragedy from getting worse. Now, yes, apparently two people did die, but at least it stopped that too. And I feel sorry for the two people who were killed during this event. My heart goes out to them. But imagine if the churchgoers were unarmed. How many people would have died then? It took this individual like about 2 seconds to pull out his own firearm, and shoot the attacker and kill him. Imagine how long it would have taken the police to show up with a 911 call. Maybe 6-7 minutes at best. And how many people would have been dead by then? A lot more. 20, 30, depending on how many people were in the building. So, to some degree, I can understand why Fox is pushing this. But why not CNN? Why not MSNBC? Well, if you look at this, actually, let's look at Texas shooting. I'm gonna put on my search bar. I just simply searched Texas church shooting. The first one that pops up is from USA Today, and the second one is Fox News. But what about CNN? If I put Texas shooting CNN, CNN isn't even the first one to show up. It says UPI, St. Louis Dispatch, The Wrap, Adweek, Oklahoma's News. Why aren't the liberal mainstream media talking about this? Why? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. It doesn't. And according to the left, there's no good guy with a gun. Well, let's see what Tommy Lauren has to say about this. From Fox News, it reads, Tommy Lauren. Oh, wait, it scrolled by accident, sorry. Tommy Lauren, why Dems don't talk about the Texas church shooting? I'll give you a good guess. I haven't read this article, but I'll give you a good guess. Dems don't want to talk about it because their narrative is good guys with guns don't exist. That's why. That's why. And like I said, and even if they did talk about it, saying that this is proof that we need to have more gun control laws, that would make them look a lot more sinister and evil. Why? Because if the law-abiding citizen who shot the shooter and killed him prevented a tragedy, had this man been unarmed, they're pretty much saying that they want more tragedies like this to occur. They would have preferred more people to die in this instance. That's why they don't want to talk about it. But at least have some integrity, Democrats. At least say this is a good thing that we had someone there to save people's lives. But they don't want to do that. Why? Because they're incredibly far left-leaning at this point. Anyways, let's read the article. Sunday morning's Texas church shooting is proof for why Americans need the Second Amendment, Fox Nation host Tommy Lauren said Tuesday. Appearing on Fox and Friends with hosts Dean Cain, Griff Jenkins, Rachel Campos Duffy, Campos Duffy. Lauren said the only way to root out evil is for good people to stand up, step up, and do what they need and do what they have been trained to do. And yes, I agree with this. And I'll tell you this right now. I don't own a gun, but whenever people threaten my right to free speech or express myself, I stand up for myself. You think that whenever I go out wearing my Trump 2020 hat, you think I don't get negative comments about this? But you know what I do? I tell them, okay. I just tell them, good on you. You have a right to express yourself, and so do I. Even my parents, when they see me wear my Trump 2020 hat, especially in liberal California, they tell me don't wear it, and I tell them why. Because you know how people are out there. I don't like the president, but I also don't want you to get hurt. And this is what I told my mom. And if I let them intimidate me into not expressing my opinions, then they win. Yeah, I know the consequences if I wear a Trump 2020 hat. You think I don't know that? I really do. I know what can happen. I know how the left is. But I'm not going to let them intimidate me into not saying what I believe. I believe in the president. Recently, I believed in the president. I didn't vote for him in 2016, like I always say. But recently, he's done a good job. Therefore, I'm going to show support for him. I shouldn't be intimidated, and I won't be intimidated to show my support for the president. And I won't be intimidated by wearing a Trump 2020 hat. I don't care. You want to come at me, go ahead. But I'd rather wear this hat with pride and not be intimidated into not wearing it. Okay? And again, I do agree with that. Because the moment we start standing up to people who want to take our rights, and especially the freedom of speech and the Second Amendment, the moment we stop doing that, they win. So the moment we stand up and say, you know what, you want our rights, take them away from us, but you're going to get a fight. Many people are going to say, you know what, never mind. You really think Antifa is going to want to have one of their shows in Texas? No. Why? Because a lot of people in Texas carry guns. Antifa targets areas where they don't have guns. They target people that can't defend themselves. They target the weak. Okay? You really think Antifa wants to do this type of stuff in Texas? No. Why? Because you're going to see a lot of Antifa members dead in the streets because they thought that they were tough and they were fighting Nazis, when in reality they're the one who are Nazis. Anyways, let's keep going. 2 men were killed when a gunman opened fire Sunday at West Freeway Church of Christ in White Settlement, Texas. More than 240 parishioners were inside. 240. So, like, okay, wow. Imagine if Joe Biden got his way and said that, nope, churchgoers cannot have guns on the premises. We would have probably seen 240 people dead. It's insane. That's insane. Like, seriously, like, how fast is this? How long does it take to fire a weapon? A second? At the slowest? No, not the fastest. Right, a millisecond at the slowest. Let's say, no, a second at the slowest, a millisecond at the fastest. Sorry. But imagine that. Imagine if Joe Biden had said, nope, churchgoers cannot carry weapons inside the church. And then this guy comes along, a criminal doesn't follow the law, shocker, and then kills 440 people. Imagine the mainstream media going after this. See, this is why we need more gun control, because Texas's gun laws clearly allow people to get guns regardless of their mental health. I'm sorry, but no, I don't buy that. This tragedy, the potential 240 people who were killed, luckily it didn't get there. Now, sadly, 2 people died. But would you prefer 240 people die because of gun control? I personally don't want that. Right? I personally don't want that. Within seconds, he was shot to death by 2 congregants who fired back. Also, it was 2. Wow. Well, good on you. You 2 are heroes. It's not just for hunting. It's not just for recreation. It's for incidents just like this, said Lauren. And yes, I agree. I do agree with this. Well, you have a lot of Democrats and a lot of anti-gun rights advocates being very quiet right now because they do not want to talk about what happened in Texas, she noted. Because they know that it's a win for the Second Amendment, and they know that it's exactly why gun rights advocates talk about the Second Amendment and how important it is. Lauren said the Democrats don't want to fess up and own that because they know it doesn't do anything for their anti-gun narrative and that they're going to be pushing all through this election cycle. Yes, I agree. I want to see whoever the Democratic nominee is. I want to see them bring up taking away or maybe implementing more gun control laws. And I want to see Trump bring up the whole idea. I want to see Trump bring up this event. I want to see the Democrat who is going against Trump. I want Trump to make them look like idiots. And because most people watch the presidential debates when it's the general election. So I want this Democrat to bring a tragedy up about gun control. We need more gun control. And then Trump bring up this incident in Texas and make this nominee look like an idiot on national television. I want that to happen because we all know they're going to bring up gun control in the general election. We all know they're going to do that. Question is, who's going to bring it up? She added that states' gun-free zones neuter law-abiding citizens like the Texas churchgoers, adding that bad guys don't care about laws. And yes, I agree with her. Look at Chicago. How much gun violence does it have? And it's a city with a lot of strict gun laws. Why is it that criminals have a lot of guns and yet law-abiding citizens don't? I'll give you a hint. Criminals don't care about the laws. They're criminals for a reason. I'm not a criminal. Why? Because I don't break the law. The person who did this mass shooting is a criminal. Yeah, because they kill people. The suspect in Chicago who shot up 13 people and injured them. He's a criminal. Why? Because he broke the law. What's hard to get? Criminals are not gonna say, "Oh man, I can't believe this. I can't believe I can't carry this gun because it's a gun-free zone." No, they're not. They're just gonna go on and do their business. Here's another example of why signs and laws aren't really followed by people who are by criminals, some degree, right? Now here's the thing. At my university, there's signs posted everywhere that says no skateboards, no scooters, and I think it was like no rollerblades or something like that. Because right now they're doing construction and it's very crowded, so they don't want people running people over with their scooters. Do you think that really stopped people from using their scooters and their skateboards? Nope, they still use them. And I find it really hysterical because I'm thinking, wow, it's like if signs don't stop people from breaking the rules. It's kind of like gun-free zones don't stop criminals from using guns for their crimes. Really, I hope you get the point with that. But anyways, let's finish off this article. If they cared about your laws, they would respect the laws in the book and not carry a shotgun into a church to destroy innocent lives, she told a friend's host. And yes, I agree as well. But like I said, good guys with guns do exist. They do. When it comes to the Second Amendment, preferably I would just want them to own a license. That way they know how to use a gun. Because a person who owns a gun but doesn't know how to use it is as useless as someone without it. Personally, that's how I see it. Because there's no point in having a weapon if you don't know how to use it, right? What's the point of me trusting your life, trusting my life with you, if you do not know how to use your firearm? But other than that, I'm not for gun control in general. I'm not. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like cities like in Chicago, right? You're gonna end up like in California because believe it or not, California they have mass shootings sometimes too, and yet they have the strictest gun laws, right? Even I think even Gavin Newsom recently, I think he approved for like a red flag law, red flag policy, meaning that if you feel someone is threatening, like they have a threatening, I think I could be wrong, but they have like a threatening like demeanor, you can actually have them. You can actually take away their Second Amendment rights. You cannot have them own a gun, even though that guy just stood there with an angry face because he had a bad day at work. That's insane. But like I said, good on these two people. Good on these two people who saved these innocent people's lives. And my heart goes out to the two people who were unfortunately killed during this incident. And for the guy who thought it was a good idea to shoot up a church, good riddance. Because that's what happens when you mess with prey. And you think is easy prey, but that prey turns out to be the predator that you do not want to mess with. Okay? And like I said, if anything that I want you before I even close the video, if anything, I want to reread the quote that Lauren said. Or I want to read it again. Good people to stand up, step up, and do what they have been trained to do. It could be about guns, it could be about your First Amendment rights, it doesn't matter. But here's the thing. The moment you stop, expressing your opinion because of fear and intimidation, that's when the other side wins. If you support the president, or if you don't, or if you are for or if you support the Second Amendment, go ahead and voice your support. Prove it, demonstrate it. What are they gonna do? They can't take your First Amendment rights unless they want to fight you, unless they want to fight for it. By all means, otherwise, you have every right to do so. If you support the president, wear your MAGA hats. Wear apparel. Your apparel. If you have apparel, wear your apparel and show support for the president. Yes, you know there might be consequences, but when you stand in the face of danger and you say I won't be intimidated by your actions, that shows them that you're not gonna go down without a fight. Every time I go out, I always wear my Trump 2020 hat. I don't care what people tell me. As if they want to fight me, go on ahead. But you're gonna be probably blinded by my pepper spray, and by that time you're gonna be probably unconscious, right? But stand up for what you believe in. The moment we start standing up for what we believe in and start fighting against the people who want to take away our rights, who want to take away our lives, that's when the other people start saying, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't mess with these people." That's why whenever we stand up for our rights and we tell China to get the hell out of our politics, because if they want to take our guns, they have to come and take them. They have to come and take our guns because communist China has no say in what we can own and what we can watch and what we can say. Because if China really thinks that they're the best country in the world, which I doubt they are, and they're not, then they wouldn't have overpopulation. They wouldn't have increased poverty. They wouldn't have a lot of censorship, and they wouldn't have concentration camps. But apparently, China knows better than the United States when it comes to guns. Anyways, I'll leave you guys there. I hope you guys like this video. This is going to be the only video. So wish you guys a happy New Year's. It is New Year's Eve as I'm recording this. So tomorrow is going to be a new year. Hopefully, less stupidity. But we all know the Democrats are not going to lower their stupidity levels. We all know it's probably going to go up. But anyways, no. No seriousness. Hope you guys have a good New Year. Stay safe. Drive safely. Don't drink and drive. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but just be safe out there. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what might happen. But I hope you guys have a good celebration. Stay safe and Happy New Year.